And shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Yeah. Did you think you was really going to beat him up that way?
Yes. I've been told you this. I told you this a minute ago. I said he's not on my level.
Max Kellerman is leaving absolutely no room for debate. He has been outspoken and controversial, declaring that Shakur Stevenson's latest performance wasn't just a win, but a historical masterclass that belongs in the same conversation as the all-time greats. He doubled down on his comparison to Floyd Mayweather, arguing that the sweet science remains the most lethal weapon in boxing. This wasn't just commentary, it was a declaration of a new era. And Kellerman made it clear he's ready to defend this bold take against anyone who disagrees.
I know what you mean, that Teo was a lights-out puncher at 135 pounds. Once he moved up to 140, it was much more of the footwork and hit you with punches you don't see and win on points than it was the destructive guy at the lighter weight. Terrence Crawford, guys, posted the following on his social media. Okay, quote, "I don't know it all, but what I do know is Shakur Stevenson beating the bleep out of Teofimo Lopez." Now, Shakur Stevenson might box the bleep out of guys. He doesn't really beat the bleep out of anybody. What do we think of that?
What makes Kellerman's reaction so fascinating is that he never saw this coming. Heading into the fight, Max was actually the voice of caution. He warned anyone who would listen that Teofimo Lopez posed real danger for Shakur. He highlighted Teofimo's explosive power and his proven ability to rise to the occasion against elite opponents like Lomachenko. But the moment the final bell rang, Max's tone shifted completely. Live on air, he admitted he was wrong about the level of threat, not because Teofimo fought badly, but because Shakur simply never allowed him to fight at all.
To make it look real easy tonight, it was it had to be very frustrating for T.O.
Keyshawn, at the party.
Why do you think it was difficult for T.O. to make adjustments to you? Like, why?
Why? I think that I studied them. I've been watching him for years. I seen T.O. when we was in the amateurs. Everything that I seen was there tonight. Like the things that I kind of saw on tape and on film, it was all in front of me tonight. And there is benefits from watching tape.
When we saw Conor being in the ring with you and the idea of you two fighting, for British fans, it would come as a bit of a curveball. You now have 4 different weight world titles and Conor's not boxed for a world title yet. What's going on between you two? Why is that a fight that you like?
I'm into big fights. I like big fights. I like big money fights. I like proving that I'm the best, and I like doing things that people say I can't do. There's a lot of people that will say that I'm too little for Conor Ben, and I can't do it. So it makes for a tremendous fight.
And Eddie mentioned that there's quite a few that DMs go back and forth between you two. Is it all amicable? Is there a bit of aggro going on?
It's gonna be a good beef. I like the beef. I like the story behind it. And
this wasn't about Shakur surviving a war. It was a technical dismantling that made an elite champion look amateur. Max realized his pre-fight breakdown missed the most important factor of all, Shakur's ability to neutralize. That is a rare gift possessed by only a handful of fighters in history. When you fight Shakur, your best weapons don't just fail, they vanish. Max stressed that Stevenson outboxed and outthought Lopez so completely that the danger everyone expected had essentially evaporated by the second round.
Teofimo Lopez did not have any answer for the lead hand, the jab of Shakur Stevenson. And even before the fight started, you saw Teo come out with the, Jabberwockies, and he was doing a lot of, dancing, and on his face, though, you didn't see kind of the joy and the happy and the smirk that you saw yesterday at the weigh-ins. There was a lot of mind games all week from Teo to Shakur, making him wait, trying to get in his head. It looked like he kind of did at the press conference, but like I've said many times, the press conference does not have any effect on the fight itself, right? The best fighters will show up when the time comes. They'll adjust, they'll be able to showcase why they're the best. And tonight, Shakur looked a lot more comfortable even in his ring walk, let alone when the fight started. But when it did start, you saw very quickly 2 things. Teofimo Lopez was gonna have real problems with the hand speed of Shakur Stevenson, his lead hand, and that Teofimo wanted 2 really specific things early in this fight. Number 1, he clearly wanted to land his big right hand over the top. And again, it was off of 1 or 2 punches. then switch to southpaw and try to land the left hand while covering distance. And it was I won't say basic attack, but it was a fundamental problem with that attack from Teofimo Lopez. He was having real trouble getting to Shakur Stevenson. He could not get past the lead hand. The jab was stifling him. He was having trouble cutting the ring. He was having trouble getting to the outside foot. This was an orthodox southpaw matchup where Teofimo needed to step to his left to try to push the lead hand away, or at least get head off center line if he wanted to throw his right hand. Instead, he was doing the opposite, and Shakur was taking the outside track. Teo was stepping on the inside lane and then fading to his right side, right into the left hand of Shakur Stevenson, which, by the way, in the first round, Shakur didn't really even throw a backhand. It was just jab. And every time he would touch him with the jab, Teo had to reset.
Of course, no Max Kellerman take comes without a Stephen A. Smith rebuttal. This fight perfectly exposed the classic divide within boxing fandom. While Max was in awe of the technical brilliance on display, Stephen A. Smith leaned heavily into the entertainment side of the sport. For casual fans, a fight where one man barely gets touched can feel slow, even boring. Stephen A. voiced that perspective, craving drama, brawls, and fireworks. Max, however, stood firm, and the debate heated up. He argued that what fans witnessed was boxing at its absolute highest level. He defended the absence of a knockout by pointing out how incredibly difficult Shakur's achievement truly was. To dominate a puncher like Teofimo Lopez so thoroughly that he becomes hesitant to even throw is, in many ways, more impressive than scoring a single lucky knockout. Max's message was clear: if perfection bores you, you're not watching closely enough. This wasn't a lack of action. It was the complete suffocation of an opponent's offense.
Who might put him in a dogfight, a real one, for the first time in his career.
When we get put in that position, we go find opposition to make that happen. You understand me? So when we go looking for the opposition, we're not concerned about how big they are, how fast they are, how strong they are. We feel like we got enough that we can bring to the table with anybody. That night I fought John Ruiz, I didn't care who was over there. Whoever they brought out that locker room was gonna get it. You understand me? That's just what it was.
The conversation went even deeper when Max sat down with the legendary Roy Jones Jr. for the inside the ring segment. That's where the analysis shifted from physical speed to psychological warfare. Roy Jones Jr., a man who knows exactly how it feels to make opponents look helpless, broke down how Shakur dismantled Teofimo mentally. It wasn't just that Shakur was faster, it was that he was processing information faster. Every time Teofimo so much as twitched a muscle, Shakur was already gone.
Big problems coming into this fight that you wondered was, Williams Zepeda didn't really give Shakur trouble. In my mind, I was there live watching that fight, and Shakur kind of handled all that adversity from Williams Zepeda. Handled a lot of adversity there. But the difference in that fight, and this one was, Zepeda was there with combination punching, right? He wouldn't just throw 1 or 2 punches at a time. He would throw 3, 4, and 5. And maybe once in a blue moon, a couple would get through and Shakur might get touched with something that you usually don't see him get hit with. Teofimo Lopez doesn't fight like that. He fights very selective on the front foot and the back foot. And again, Teo's probably a better back foot fighter than he is a front foot fighter. But he wanted to come out early and make a statement, so he was trying to bring it to Shakur. I think he gave up a little bit of his game too quickly, because in the first round, Teo was throwing heavy right hands over the top. Then that double right hand switch to go to the left hand out of southpaw, and Shakur saw it all early. And even here, some of the post-fight stuff, Shakur was like, I thought he was fast, and he wasn't. Shakur was like, he was way slower than I thought. Teo was reaching a lot. Teo was overstriding a lot. He wasn't bringing his feet with him, and it made it easier for Shakur. He would just frame with his lead hand, keep the distance, which he does such a good job of. If you move forward, he moves back. You cut an angle, he cuts an angle, right? He just mirrors what you do. And the moment you make a mistake or overcommit, he touches you with the lead hand. That's first line. Hold the left hand behind it. Shakur was schooling him. And again, I said it in the first minute and a half of the stream, I was just like, oh no, this is gonna go very badly for Teofimo Lopez. And it did, man. It's just round after round, Teo could not figure out this equation, could not get past the lead hand of Shakur Stevenson. And there were moments where it wasn't just the jab of Shakur, he was sticking the left hand on him. And no, Shakur doesn't have the biggest power in the world, and no, he may not be the most casual audience-friendly fighter, but he is damn good as a boxer. And he is, I don't want to say Floyd Mayweather-esque, but it's the same formula. When you watch him box, you may not like his style, you may not like that he doesn't sting and punish people the way you would want to see somebody counterpunch. But I don't know, there's a style that beats.
By the middle rounds, the frustration was written all over Teofimo's face. He looked lost. Max pointed out that this is the most devastating way to lose a fight. When you get knocked out, you can blame a lucky punch. But when you remain fully conscious, giving your best effort, and still cannot touch the man in front of you, it crushes your spirit. Together, they broke down the mental warfare at play. Shakur used distance not only as defense, but as a weapon to frustrate Teofimo into desperate mistakes, which were then punished with ease. It was a slow, suffocating breakdown of Teofimo's confidence.